Hello. Good afternoon for me. Got a couple highlights to do on my illustration page. Yesterday I was at a Halloween party and I started this little illustration of Sinoni bursting out of the throat of a Fliggin monster, and so I was holding my sketchbook like this, and this hand was just going rub over this illustration. So smeared everything all over the place. I've been trying to clean it up this morning, and I figured I might as well add the highlights, and then I could spray the non-smeary stuff. There's a word for that. Fixative? I don't know. I can't do words right now. So I'm using artist watercolor. Hello Van Morta, Damon, and Sigrid. Welcome all. Welcome one. Welcome three. Guy right here is a bookseller in Megaloth City. He's suspicious of Beaumark being a very tall, dark, glittery man in a city of not tall, pale people. Let's see, I think I have an illustration of his books. There we go. Here's the books that Beaumark buys from him. I didn't do a lot of cleanup on this one. It's still pretty smeary. I'm just kind of okay with that. It's going to be a pretty small illustration in the book anyway. Like, not even a quarter page probably. I'm at that age where I'm starting to get those ridiculous eyebrow hairs that just want to like shoot straight up at the corner like that. But that's why God invented tweezers. Aletha, how's it going? You got no cats on you. Oh, that sounds awful. Van Morta cooking magical cookies, passing them out like Santa Claus. When you create a game as a service, as all MMOs are, a big part of that service is making sure that players who want to be generous and make life more pleasant for other players, that their systems for that. And for that, I'm very grateful to Lindsay and all the work that she put into designing the recipe system. I'm glad someone cares about that sort of thing. And I'm not getting the fine control I'm hoping for from this brush. Aletha just ordered a shoulder brace. Is that for archery or just in general? And Morta ordered 2 games on Amazon. The one I wanted, I didn't. Gonna wait as I can't afford it. Well, you should tell us about these games. I want to know what folks are playing. And wanting to play. Yeah. Apparently I just need to get that bright to get white looking eyebrows. Fine. Damon is asking how the Halloween party was. I mean, it's a normal grown-up party. It's like, it's whatever. I'm just not the biggest fan of grown-up parties. I had been doing really good. Like, I've gone almost 2 weeks straight of super low carb, and then yeah, I was really hoping I'd be able to hold out, but there was some cookies and candy that were too much for me. So, although I was able to not go completely overboard. Like, I think I probably only did 2,500 calories, which for me is impressive. Usually if I go off the rails, I'm like 3,500 calories that day. So I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of a win. We tried playing Cards Against Humanity, but there were literally 14 people playing. And at that point, it's really hard to keep focus and momentum. But we got some cute pictures of me and Heather wearing matching Superman outfits. So at least something came of it. Yes, Damon, a kid's Halloween party would have been better. Absolutely. Letha said the brace is for horse stuff, lifting saddles and whatnot. Okay. Sigrid only plays Skyrim. That's impressive. I've been playing that game for quite a while, huh? I seriously considered playing it again on Switch until I saw that it was still $60 on Switch. And I was like, no, that is not right. I'm not going to pay $60 for a 9-year-old game, or whatever it is now. That's not how games work, you guys. But I guess Bethesda can break the rules. Maybe I'm just salty because the game I work on is free. Alita says, Cards Against Humanity is hilarious, but yeah, 14 would be a lot. Because I love Janae, I hosted a birthday party for her, and we crammed 12 people into my tiny duplex and played that. Nice. Damon says, Skyrim came out on 11/11/11. That's right. It did, didn't it? I remember that campaign. That was pretty cool. Wow, it came out after Red Dead Redemption? Are you sure? I mean, I know you're right. That's weird. Red Dead Redemption was 2010. I know because I filmed all my John Marston parts in the year 2010 when it was a fresh, hot game, and I was like, sweet, I'm getting in on the ground floor here. The kids are really going to be hip to my jive because I'm dressed like John Marston for my video series that will come out any day now. And then, 9 years later, any day now, my video series will come out. Just you wait. Fellow young kids, you're gonna love it. David says, I remember waiting in a line at the midnight opening. Then it was just a key in the box, and I had to download it anyway. Oh my God. That is the dumb. Yeah, I remember definitely super looking forward to it. I mean, let's see, 2011. So we were about a year out from finishing Guild Wars 2, or, launching Guild Wars 2, and just blown away by all the promo graphics. Them graphics. Because, I mean, most people at ArenaNet played a lot of Oblivion, and so we're super hyped for a super gorgeous Oblivion. And that's more or less what it was. It's amazing it's taken them this long to do another Elder Scrolls that's not the online one. Yeah. And Morta is right. If they're going to do a key in a box, it can just be a gift card. Actually, it doesn't need to be a gift card. It can be an emailed thing that you just pay for online. Damon says, remember that night quite well. I couldn't remember my Steam account info, so I had to start a new account. Oh, that's so obnoxious when you're like super excited to start a game and then wah, wah. It seems like that's how so many games are now, since like all the major AAA publishers want you to sign into their stupid custom thingamajig and make password, and it's so annoying. I just want to put a game in a system and have it play. That's so much to ask. And these days, yes, it is so much to ask. Keep forgetting I have the superpower of being able to go in with a pencil afterwards and remark these lines. I don't have to make super futzy little highlights. Okay, since I cannot get the fine lines I was hoping with that brush, I'm gonna try with this itty bitty one. He's got all these cool little wrinkles that I think have mostly been smudged away, sadly. I really wanted to go in and it's not worth it. He's overly smudged at this point. I was wanting to do that where we go in, do these little hairline highlights on every little wrinkle, but meh, I say I've lost interest. Oh, and now I've spilled water all over my illustration. Amazing. I'm gonna ruin other stuff, probably. Ooh, well, this gives me an idea. Go with it. Aletha, you thought a cat hair was a rogue line. I mean, there are rogue lines all over this face, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of them. I mean, did it look good? If it looked good, you could mail me that cat hair and I could just glue it to the page. Ah. Just making things worse. Everything is worse. Okay. Not a happy camper right now. So this is Spring Water. He is a young little folk. Little folk are descendants of the splinter group of humans that decided for philosophical reasons that they should have as little impact on the environment as possible. So they genetically engineered their offspring to be a quarter the size of humans. So half as tall, which means about a quarter as heavy. So they're always the size of about, I don't know, 6-year-olds maybe? I don't know how big kids are anymore. Now that my kids are grown-ass men, as the kids say nowadays. Maybe not my kids. My kids wouldn't use that kind of language. But other kids. Aletha, you want to be a little folk, do you? Your brain likes to picture them as Asura? I mean, if anyone's more like an Asura, it would be Skola's people. Now this little folk lives in Megaloth City, which is the biggest city in the world, probably. And they are definitely second-class citizens. They're not quite slaves, but they're about as close to slavery as you can get. And they live and move around the city in an elaborate tunnel system. So they're always filthy. They are very distrustful of the bigs, as they call full-size humans. But Beaumark manages to befriend one of them. Maybe friendship is too strong a word. More like he desperately needs help, and one of them feels bad enough for him to help him. And he stuck it to the man. Beaumark stuck it to the man by stealing one of the Empire's most valuable assets. So he got some street cred. He ends up getting assisted in his escape by this guy. This guy also shows Beaumark the first ice that he's ever seen in the form of a snow cone thing. It's like shaved ice in a cup with honey drizzled over it. It's hard for me to know how to put highlights on cloth that's supposed to be like filthy. Imagine the highlights will probably be pretty concentrated because the filth probably mats the fabric. By matting, like when fur gets wet or whatever. So I think it would be slightly shinier the dirtier it is. I mean, as it ages, it would get rougher, and the rougher a thing is, the less shiny it tends to be. But once you push it past a certain amount of filth, then the filth itself is building up in the cloth, like between the little fibers. So you know your cloth is woven like this, and then between those little places you get like actual grease and dirt and whatever. Not that I could actually accomplish anything that nuanced anyway, but hey, it's nice to think about. Actually have... Oh, I don't have any of my pens on me. Maybe that's... Well, that's not where the camera's supposed to go. Do it. You're just on there before you can do it again. Yeah, sorry to throw you around like that, Elisa. Okay, let's see if light's coming from there. I'm gonna do it. I need help brainstorming something. There's a character in the book that ambushes Beaumark twice. Twice? 3 times. Okay, all 3 times she's chasing him, so coming from behind. So this can't be an ambush where she's got ahead of him and is lying in wait. Maybe there's a way I can make that work. I don't know. But for the sake of this brainstorm exercise, let's say she's always just barely catching up with him and then ambushes him. Now, 2 of those 3 times, she is dressed in a costume, basically, that covers her face so he doesn't know it's her. Now, I feel like this inadvertently creates like adds a humorous element to it, just because, and maybe like a realism issue as well. You know, there's all sorts of different cultures in the area, so there's lots of people that have different types of clothing, including head coverings, face coverings. So it totally makes sense logically that at least once she could sneak up on him by wearing one of those things. And maybe this gets back to the old, like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, teach me to fool, and I can fool myself every day. Shame on a dog. I think that's how the saying goes. Anyway, yeah, I want the second ambush to not involve a head covering. She comes up to him on a goatish, on an animal, a riding animal, and oh, this bird thing here. This is a buoy. That's how I'm going to say it. I did a lot of research on historical buoys, and this is one that I thought was cool. I mean, I modified it from... They use barrels a lot. But yeah, for those of you who don't know what a buoy is, it's in the ocean around shores where there's shallow areas or rocks jutting out or whatever. They would put these out here to help boats that were sailing around to not crash into things. So that it was either some of them would have bells in them. Usually it was just like literally just a thing floating there, and it needs to be anchored to the bottom of the ocean, of course, to keep it relatively in place. And sometimes they would have bells on them that, you know, as they rocked back and forth in the water, they would be clong, clong, clong to help. But yeah, they're basically like along the same lines of what a lighthouse does, just a more granular version. Damon Raw, how's it going? I mean, I don't know that Damon Raw would be a fake Damon. if anything, it would be the master of daemons if you go with Egyptian etymology. That's not what I want to do. Undo! Undo! My undo button is not working on my sketchbook. Maybe I don't have the latest drivers installed. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Blood pool. Usually there's a strong light source which gives you a super highlight, but then there's also like a ramp where you see the red fading into like either really dark red or practically black. Damon Ross says, yep, half Egyptian etymology anyway. The other half is Star Trek Next Generation. Nice. Pretty hard to make out. There's so much stuff going on here, but there's like a cage here with a bell in it, and then there's a little flag on it, and then I decided to make it completely unreadable by putting a bird, a seabird, like perched on it. Let's just say it's like a visual puzzle. It's bonus content for my book. Not only do you get to read a frolicking good adventure story, you also get to puzzle out what the heck these illustrations are even supposed to be. I mean, there are hints in the text. I mean, all the illustrations are of something that is written in the chapter, so. Oh, Damon Rath says if he's Damon Ra of Stargate, he's dead. Yeah, but I mean, are any of those alien gods ever really dead? Damon Ross says, yeah, no, I don't have a snake in my gut. Mine is on the outside and permanently attached. Oh, you know. Even if you can't spell permanently. I mean, if you're a god, you can spell anything any way you want, right? You're the one who sets the standards and the rules. Could not make out any of the anatomy on this bird that I so carefully plotted out. It's pretty much a funny lump. Drawing is hard, you guys. Alright, I feel pretty done with this right now. Aletha, were you here when I showed this, my work in progress of, can you tell what scene that's from? Can you even tell what's going on there? Okay, you go there. Okay, I'm going to toss you guys around again for a bit. I hope you don't mind. Okay, that goes over there. This goes over here. Hi guys, how's it going? What are we doing? Okay, we're going to shrink me down. gotta change my settings so I'm not wasting resolution on this thing. Okay. Alright. Also time for more beverage. Here's the worst part of that Halloween party. I left my magical lidded Starbucks cup there. So now I'm drinking out of a non-lidded cup, which means this is guaranteed to go into my computer. I don't know how it's going to get like 3 feet over there and it's going to destroy my computer. I feel it in my bones. I know it's going to happen. I wish there was a way I could prevent it, but there's not. It's just going to happen. It's like school shootings. They're just nothing anyone can ever do about them. There we go. End political rant. Okay, so here is Zbrush, guys. Have you seen this before? This is pretty cool. This is a program called Zbrush. I realized I got sidetracked on trying to figure out that town thing and totally like left behind the whole like setting up the terrain and all that stuff, because even if I can't ever figure out how to illustrate what I'm trying to do in ZBrush, definitely just getting the terrain in there, I can make that a background and then draw with my little monkey hands the buildings on there if I absolutely have to. But having the terrain, regardless, will be a good thing. So I'm gonna finish that terrain real quick. Real quick, got me? Real quick, I say. Because that happens all the time. I start a thing and then I'm done with it just real quick. That's like my superpower. Hey, I'm gonna thank all the good folk who have subscribed since last time. We've got Jekka Dio Caraza. That's exactly how it's pronounced. Fiddy you guys, Fight a Catcha fan on YouTube. S Tim Call is following me on Twitch. Thank you. Ian Slesser on YouTube. Bodyweight. Okay, on YouTube. Bernard Ting. Sue Greenstreet. Shankar Gautam. Perfect. I know I nailed that. Jerv33. Boss Model Fa, or Boss Mode Alpha. I prefer Boss Model Fa. Shuriarod. Why do I do this? I don't know. Shred Hamilton. Francois Cartier. Again, nailed it. Jeff A. Talentino. That's probably I'm just like, everything is weird to me now, so I can't even say normal American names. Roxy Lango, Kraken, Florencio Duar, and Athar Says. Alright, there we go. That was epic, and you're welcome, everyone. I mean, thank you, everyone, for subbing on my YouTubes. Go away. Okay. No, not everyone who subbed that menu. Just... Here we go. Oh my gosh. We are off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen. How are you not just working? Okay. Okay. We're doing all right. So there's my little diorama. Oh, see you, Damon Raw. ETA on the cup recovery and how long am I in danger. So, I mean, I do not have high hopes that I'm getting that cup back. I mean, Heather texted him and they're like, yeah, here it is. But they're like in a really awkward place. I don't know, maybe Heather will stop by and grab it at some point, but it's not like they're friends who hang out all the time. I mean, maybe they see each other more than I think. I don't know. Either way, my computer is doomed. Doomed! Here's a little patch of houses to show the scale of the city, and you're just gonna have to pretend that these houses go all around here. I just want to get the topology of this place nailed down, so once I do figure out how to get all the rest of the houses in, I'm just like ready to go. I don't have to suddenly be like, oh wait, I forgot to finish this thing. Aletha says there's a Facebook release party for the Paws, Claws, and Magic Tales anthology. And Leela and I have stories in this evening. Wait. My mom has stories in a cat anthology? I do not remember her ever talking about that. What am I even doing with my life? This is a disaster. Okay, here's the first thing I need to do. I need to get rid of the stuff that's blocking my view. Okay. That will be helpful. I don't know why framing it still pulls me so far out. Oh, but when parts are hidden, then I can't add geometry to it. Grumble, grumble. Okay, well, I'll just try to do the large features. Although I kind of feel like I have the large features mostly in. I don't know. Alright, let's check this out. Here is the book, Paws, Claws, and Magic Tales. Looks like it's got H.L. Burke in there. Janelle Leanne Schmidt in there. What? Why doesn't I don't see Aletha or Leela? Is there more details? Let's say. And 14 more. Whoa. 16 stories in here. Wow. If you click on it. Oh, here's my mom's textbook that she wrote. Here's that. And other anthologies she's been in. Oh, and the Shatter World. Oh my gosh, I hate that cover so much. Whatever. I made 3 different covers for that book at this point. I'm done. It will be whatever it will be. But congrats, have fun on your party. What time is that tonight? I should probably attend because I do not know how Facebook release parties work. I can't imagine that they work at all. Like, the whole concept of it seems utterly futile and bizarre. So I would love to see what that looks like. I mean, I still have the problem of like, I don't like, as far as I can tell, people don't read books, so I don't even know why anyone writes books anymore, including myself. It's funny, it doesn't matter how many voracious readers I meet and talk to, I still don't believe that people read books. Alita says, some people seem to enjoy them. I'm not really into them myself, but they do seem to work for some authors. I assume you're talking about launch party things, but and not just reading in general or books in general. You'll probably be playing Guild Wars. Okay, so after talking with my co-author about this area, we decided that we needed a river that you can ship goods up and down, so I made a super flat bottom of a canyon that this water is going through. Typically in nature, you don't have like a cliff and then flat and then another cliff. It happens sometimes, but rarely. So I think I need to do a little work on this, which means I'm going to need to show the rest of it. What's the best way to deal with this? Does this have... Okay, yeah, this has whatever that's called on it. Dynamesh. So if I... that's not the right button. I think I'm just going to re-dynamesh it, the whole darn thing. Morta, you're doing what? Oh, playing Guild Wars? Baking magical cookies for people in Guild Wars? Huh. I wonder why it's taking so long. This Zbrush really is the worst tool for trying to do environmental stuff like this. No, I don't want that. Oh, wait, is this trim lasso? I don't want trim lasso. Starts within an hour. Okay. I guess I will, when I wrap up this stream, I will hop over there like a flea on a cat's tail. Okay, this is not what I wanted. I want... Is this what I want? This is what I want. Okay. Okay, so now I have just this side of the canyon. The other side is not blocking me. And I can do stuff such as this off. What's going on here? What in the world is that? What are you? Oh, I must have accidentally selected something at some point and moved. That's ridiculous. Let's see. No, I can't do this because part of the mesh is hidden. Alright, doesn't matter. Stop being distracted. No, no. Come on, muscle memory. Gotta kick in. Can't count on... what is... System 2, that's it. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel H. Pink, I think. Talks about systems 1 and 2 in your brain. And one of them, system 1, is the kind of automatic thing that is just always on, and it's very cheap for your brain. It takes very few calories. So, as a result, your brain really likes to use system 1. And that's where a lot of cognitive biases come in, because all your little heuristics and shortcuts usually work. System 2 kicks in when you're given like a logic problem or a math problem, or you're confronted with something that you've just never seen before, and that has a lot of expense associated with it. As far as the calories required, the amount of time it takes, how it takes away from your other cognitive faculties, such as trying to Zbrush and talk about a complicated book at the same time. And yeah, so your body is highly motivated, your body/brain is highly motivated to not go into system 2 thinking. And one of its primary methods for keeping you from system 2 thinking is to fool you into thinking that you are in system 2 thinking when you actually are not. Our brains are terrible enemies to us. I mean, great if you're in a survival situation where you're running away from tigers or zombies. Not so good if you're trying to navigate the modern world in a healthy way that doesn't damage yourself and others. I have no idea how or why I got on that tangent. Probably my System 1 was convincing me that System 2 was working. Okay, this definitely feels a little more natural to me. Like, we've got water running off on these slopes, and then this channel has been getting cut down, and it's got enough flatness here to have a road running alongside the river, so you've got a major trade route going off in that direction, another major road going in this direction. I need more caffeine. Damon's gotta go cut the fudge and deliver to who bought it. Hey, thanks, Damon. Have fun cutting the fudge. That definitely sounds like something a third grader would say. Wait, this is actually get stressed out about being the subject of attention, even for an online party. So, yeah, I mean, that part doesn't bother me. I would be stressed out in that I wouldn't get any attention, as in no one comes to why would anyone come to these? I don't understand. I don't understand how books and marketing and groups work. Like, the worst thing I could imagine is two people show. Like, your mom shows up and 2 people, and then it's like, what is the point? I don't understand it. What does the layer tool do? Let's find out what the layer tool does. I haven't used this in so long. Okay, so it literally just adds some amount of height, but does it keep all the texture? Yes. That's really cool. I'm glad I put it on my my fast palette now. I had a feeling, I remembered it from years ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I should get around to exploring that. Still distracting me from my goal. My goal is getting this little center area figured out. Where the little city, what the topology of the little city is. Okay, this is the wrong button. Aletha says, so if I do math, I'd lose a lot of weight. Yeah, if you did math constantly, that would burn a lot of calories. I can't remember the percentage, but a not insignificant amount of our calories are used up by our brain. And that is kind of the reason that our brain tries to resist going into mode 2 thinking. It's like, no, you need those calories because you never know when your next meal is going to come, or you're going to have to run away from a tiger. Like, just all these things that our ancestors had to deal with that most of us don't in the modern world. Oh wow, that's why this took so long. It completely, like, I forgot the little town that I had here was technically part of the same mesh. So now it has been melted to slag. It's fine. It's fine, I don't need you. I don't need anything. Except this chair. Okay, so we want gradual slopes. I don't want any massive hills. So mostly smoothing things down. I feel like this is the worst thing I've ever done. Heather says, IKEA has an amazing tree for $99. And I say, if it makes you happy. We have an interesting dynamic in our marriage where I'm my middle of the road. I'd say I'm middle of the road to bad when it comes to financial word that means self-control. I'm medium-ish at it. My ex-wife was like the worst you could possibly be at financial self-control. We were literally hundreds of dollars negative in our bank account every single paycheck. We were paying literally hundreds of dollars in bouncing check fees every 2 weeks. It was super fun. And then I married Heather, and she's like the opposite. She's Miss Penny Pincher, who's always questioning and second guessing and returning things. And so now it's like I'm on the other end of the stick. I'm on the other end of something. Huh, that's It's a weird tree. I don't know why she likes it, but I care not at all. And it's smaller than our current one, which means easier to set up and store, so I'm a big fan. Okay, I've got this little gorge. It's probably too big of a gorge, honestly, given the size of this town. To have bridges over that, you would need like huge bridges. So I'm going to make this gorge less gorgeous. Oh yeah, move elastic, is that the right one? No, move topological. So that should just grab this one without hitting the other one. That's pretty cool. Van Mortis said, the pin I thought I left at work was not left at work. How do I know? It exploded in the dryer. That sucks. Ooh, man. How many clothes did you ruin? Thankfully, the way I pull my shirts off caught it on the inside and didn't ruin much. Just 2 shirts and splatter on socks. Wow. Alita says, one of the reasons I'm still single is very afraid of being financially destroyed by a significant other. Yeah. Both of us, I feel like, made a really bad choice about our first significant other. I mean, I can't complain because I ended up with 2 kids that you're not allowed to complain about having kids from, so... But yeah, it turns out there are actually like legitimate good people out there that you can be in relationships with. You don't have to marry a terrible person. I shouldn't say that. I don't think people are terrible. They're just, you know, what makes people do terrible things besides them being terrible people? Whatever that is, that's what people do. Usually it has to do with how they were raised and, like, their unhealthy reactions to life. Mostly they just don't know better and they don't understand how to be better. I don't have any ill will towards my ex, but I can't recognize that she absolutely made my life a living hell for 11 years. I'm looking for someone who can afford and wants Frisians. I'd say your best luck then is to go to horsey shows and find someone who already owns them. It's like, I have so many Frisians and no one to share them with. I assume that's what Frisian owners all talk like, by the way. I thought you said free Asians, and I'm like, they're giving them away now? Van Morta. What What are we gonna do with you? One thing I just thought of is, why is this one such a huge cube eating up all these polygons? That is silly. I need to, nope, not you. I need to select you. And then squash you. Should give me more polygons to work with. Let's see what Cora wants me to answer. What is a good intermediate step for learning game development? Oh man. I would have to know what beginner steps have already been taken. It's still such a nascent field. Like, there's no established curriculum yet. Letha says, well, I did go to a horsey Halloween show last night with Frisians. It would be funny to dress up Frisians as, like, I don't know, what's a super cheap horse as one of those? I kind of feel like I do want kind of hills to emerge back here. I don't want hills everywhere, but I want some hills somewhere. So, like, there would have been some harder rock that's been eroding and, or not eroding, I guess, softer rock around these stones, which then erodes slower than the ground around them, and that's how you end up with these kind of moundy hills. But then I can have some, like, fancy mansions and stuff up on the hills overlooking the rest of the town. I think I need, at some point, I figured out how to make really good rocks. I don't know if in Zbrush I ever learned a way to make cliffs that I'm happy with. Let me try one of my rock techniques. Do I have crumple here? Let me try to do a thing. Crumple, 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 crumple. Oh, that's got some RGB on it. That's cool. Okay, not the direction I want to go. Crumple, crumple, crumple. Okay, and then kind of use that as a base to work off of. Let's re-dynamesh that. Crumple plays havoc with the topology of the mesh. Does anyone dress their horses for Halloween like a zebra or a donkey or a giraffe or something like that? I imagine unicorn would be pretty common. Pegasus? Could you put like big wings that have like PVC pipe in them so they actually like bobble a little bit as they go? Oh, interesting. So this just happened, and I don't know why. Does it have to do with the way I squashed the terrain before? Let's turn the resolution down. Oh yeah, and I just remembered a better way to squash the terrain underneath. I should have used the clip rectangle brush. Letha says, I tagged you on Facebook for one of their performances when you have time. They did do costume contests with the horses. One was painted like a giraffe. Excellent, I'm glad to hear. Well. What have we here? What did I do? Can I apologize to Zbrush and have it not be mean to me now? What does it want from me? I wonder if it's because this thing is all screwed up. I don't think this will help at all, but I'm going to try it. Clip rectangle. Okay. See if I can smooth this guy out a little bit. Actually. Okay, fix that boo-boo. Oh, I thought I wrecked all that. Is there a way to fix this boo-boo without wrecking it? One of my friend's horses was all witchy with a hat and long hair, black witch hair. There was a pony dressed as a lion and a little girl as Dorothy and a toddler as Tin Man. Aw, that's cute. And a kid dressed as Link. Awesome. Okay. So here we have our crazy mesh. Solo this. What else can I do that would help? Well, I guess I could do more smoothing of the corners and the edges. I think the Dynamesh might be choking on, there's probably non-manifold geometry or some other weird technical mumbo jumbo because of the way I squashed this. And so this brush going in and just munching all those polygons down might be getting rid of the thing Dynamesh doesn't like. This is just my guess that I hope is correct. Munch, munch, munch. So was the kid dressed as Link? Did they have a horse dressed as Epona? don't know how you dress a horse as Epona. It's pretty much just like a generic brown horse. The horse went as itself, I think, but it did have a shield chest piece. The Legend of Zelda shield thing. Okay, cool. What happens with Dynamesh now? I'm looking at videos of carving foam into clips for a future tutorial. And I've got all sorts of cool ideas for what I want to do with that. I think hopefully if all things go according to plan, my next live stream will be back in the garage and we'll be doing some big crazy stuff. I feel like the last 300 streams have all been Zbrush and no like live performance, so that'll be exciting. Boom, look at that, way better, Zbrush, you did it, congrats. What the heck do you even want? If I get rid of most of this thin shelf area. Maybe that's messing it up. I mean, I wasn't having this problem until I flattened out all that unneeded extra space underneath. So maybe it's actually needed for some dumb reason. Alifa, how dare you? Why don't you just go get a degree in ZBrushing so that you can help me on the live stream when I fail at ZBrush over and over and over again? It's really funny. My friend who is friends with a lot of the people who make ZBrush, when he emailed him my question, basically, there's like 3 people at ZBrush Corp that are like problem solving with him to try to figure out how to you know, do that town thing that I'm trying to do, and none of them address what I was trying to do, which is both cool and obnoxious. It's cool in that for once in my life there isn't just like usually if there's something I can't figure out, there's like an obvious button that you're just supposed to press, and then you know someone shows it to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not know that? In this case, having actual like programmers of the program not being able to do something I was hoping to do, at least vindicates that I wasn't a complete idiot, right? Of course, the downside is that there isn't any way to do what I want to do quickly. There are all sorts of horrible workarounds that take forever, but that was not really the point. Okay, let's see if this was the magic ingredient that it needed. Here we go, here we go, boop, 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 here we go. And how much more drum roll do you need? Look at that! I did it. I did it, everyone. Fix the thing. What are we at now? We are at... We're at... Really? Only 6 million points on here. Interesting. Okay. Anyway. Cliff. Am I right? Cliff. That's what we're talking about right now. How do we make a cool cliff? So, no. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't want that. Okay, so there's some organic shearing and such. This is stuff we could work with. So now we take like a trim adaptive. Oh, not that. Maybe high polish. It's one of the trims that works really well for this. So far, this is only making it worse. That's okay. This is Josh learning time. I mean, as usual, I should just go look up some tutorials on this. I mean, back in like 2013 or 14, I was one of the first people in Guild Wars making rocks in Zbrush. No, it was before we launched. That's right, because I had a special shader made. Like, people were using Zbrush for characters, but no one in the environment team that I recall was using Zbrush for rocks and stuff. So I figured out some really cool techniques, and then I feel like I haven't made any rocks since then. And since then, like, other environment artists on the team, I'm not even an environment artist anymore, but they're like 1,000% ahead of me now when it comes to ZBrush, making cool rocks. So I should look at what the latest and greatest techniques are for that. A lot of my techniques worked really good for like boulder rock things, but it's totally different when you're doing like a flat-ish cliff piece, which I guess it doesn't need to be. Like, I could make a boulder over here and just like clone it in and merge it in. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take a cylinder. Okay, dynamesh it, crumple it up in weird ways. crazy crumples. What was the next thing I would do? I don't think that's what it was. But I do like the idea of going in and like punching up some of these forms that just, you know, naturally, randomly occurred. But there are probably better ways to do that. Let's try a layer. Noise on it ends up kind of taken away from the natural thing that it does, which is just raise up what's already there without disturbing the design underneath. But if you got some texture to start with, what does crumpling do then? Could be interesting. Okay, now let's try some of this polishy stuff. Maybe my problem is my intensity is way too intense. Man, this brush is not acting like I remember it acting. I don't know what's going on. Let's look at other trim brushes, shall we? Or polish for that matter. There's planer. That seems like something I would use from time to time. So that takes the point at which you click and then shaves it down exactly on the plane. Oh, nice. I needed this for something recently. I can't remember what it was. I was looking for this brush and couldn't remember what it was. Now I know. Okay, so this is probably good for like getting more of the secondary faceting. See, I think the crumpling probably was is probably more like a tertiary thing. I was using it for a primary. Asin Akbar. Welcome, Asin. Thanks for the sub. Let's bump the resolution a bit. Did that do it already? Yeah. Okay. Now I'll try crumpling on this and see if that gets me more. Yeah. By the way, anyone want to guess what the special shader in Guild Wars 2 for the rocks that I made was called? You'll never guess. It was called, and I didn't name it this. Jens, our technical art lead, named it this. Josh Rocker. So anytime you wanted to put textures on a rock in Guild Wars 2 when we first launched, you were using the Josh Rocker rock shader. Let's see, and then another fun thing you could do is, let's see, let's do masking. Mask by smoothness. Okay, so now I've got a mask on there. I'm gonna hide the mask, and then I'm going to do where's my noise? Is that on surface? It is. Alright. What's the trick to make a hard line? Scale that sucker up a bit. Okay, so there's some button or a combination of buttons that I need to press to make this little node be a sharp angle instead of a smooth curve. And I would love to find it, but I can't. Dragging it off deletes it. Alt, no. Control, no. Shift, no. Shift, Control, No. Shift Alt? No. Control Alt? No. Zbrush, you guys. Guys, what secret handshake do I need to know to... Ugh. I'm just gonna do this for now. That looks terrible. That looks terrible, you guys. I mean, that could work for some kind of like lava rock or something, but definitely not the effect I want. Okay, actually, let's just undo the mask. Let's see, is there a... I assume there's an invert. Strengths. Let's put it this way. Whoa. No, don't want that. It's not the scale. See, it seems like... What's this? Rel. Do we want it rel or non-rel? That's all you get to know. See, if the strength is negative as opposed to positive, maybe that is, yeah, that's probably, try that. Okay, and then with that, then you go in and you can like, is there something I have to do to accept that? Is that actually part of the geometry now? I think it is. Apply to mesh. There we go. Boom. Okay. Nothing is less realistic than having a super consistent kind of noisy pattern over a rock. So. What's going on here? Yeah, I think I'm gonna look up some other things, but for now, let's just go with this. Okay, here's a rock. I'm going to make it create insert mesh. Make a new one. Oh, unrecoverable error. Wow, those are the worst kind. Huh. Actually, given all the stuff I need to do, I think... Hi, Demo Rose. I was making a rock to build a thing. But yeah, I am getting so close to the end of the month, I really need to finish my, there's a word for this, whatever, the video for the Shadow of the Colossus. I'm in the middle of editing it, and it needs to go out on the 1st, which is what, on Thursday. So I'm gonna call that the stream for today and get to work on episode 17 of Shadow of the Colossus. Man, I literally have no idea how much further there is to go. It's amazing. Like, for the last 3 or 4 episodes I've been editing, I keep thinking, oh man, I'm so close to finishing this thing. I must not have much longer to go, and then it just gets longer and longer and longer. So who knows? Could be 1,000 more episodes. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully, no promises, but on Wednesday I hope to be in the garage doing experiments with foam for the next tutorial series. That'll be good, because I need to take awesome photographs and video of the Colossus, and I'm making it for the backdrop for the Colossus, so it should be super cool. And thanks everyone, thanks again to all the new subs, thanks to all the old standbys, like Aletha, and Damon Raff, and Van Morta, and Damon Ra, and Sigrid, etc., etc., etc. Hope to see you guys on Wednesday. So have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, or morning, everyone. Bye.